CM Punk challenges MJF to a collar match. Hangman Adam Page has a brand new title contender and a lot more on the show. This is the Wrestling Never Sleeps podcast. Welcome. I'm excited for this episode because we finally have unity. All the way from Ontario, Canada. Adam Anthony James Martin, the straight shoot in a suit. What's up, man?
Oh, living the dream here in Miami, baby. It's not so cold. It's, it's beautiful scenery. Beautiful women, amazing food. It's a great time. And of course, side by side with the host, Jared Never Sleeps. It is me, myself, and I. Oh, so fine and one of a kind, baby. The straight shoot in a suit. It is me, Adam Anthony James Martin, here. Finally in Miami. Live in studio with you guys.
Yes. And we have very, very exciting intro and a very exciting show because AEW, they were in the COVID-19 era, and now they're in the Cody Not Here era. This is their first show, and it actually was not that bad. I don't think it was that bad, but the thing is that we've been talking about this the whole entire day with the whole Cody Rhodes situation, with him obviously abruptly leaving AEW.
Yeah.
But we had kind of a different take on it. We don't think Cody's a bad guy. If you can kind of explain your take on it.
How can Cody be the bad guy when, a man with the power and position that he's in and being Tony Khan, let these guys create this brand.
Yeah.
A revolution, as Cody would say, was formed and created in his own mind. His alone. And yes, he brought in company, he brought in his friends, he wanted some, partnership in this, and he brought in the Young Bucks, the Harley Boys, and he brought in Twinkle Toes, Kenny Omega, but rightfully so, the credit goes to Cody. Cody is the heart and soul of AEW. Cody is the glue.
Yeah.
That if you're watching the program, if you don't understand anything in the program, except for one thing, the one thing you're going to understand and make sense of is the program with Cody.
Yeah, and I think the reports that are coming out now is that basically the reason why he left is because Tony Khan wanted to take away his EVP title. Cody didn't feel comfortable turning heel ever again because he does too much charity work. He does stuff like Make-A-Wish. So he didn't want to be perceived as negative, especially him being a public figure. And then they didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to pay him. His deal was up. And now how the business works, I'm told, is if you're not getting paid like a top guy, you're not a top guy. So if you're not getting the Punk contract, if you're not getting the Bryan Danielson contract, if you're not getting the Chris Jericho contract, you're just like everybody else. So basically what I look at is for him to really just try to protect his brand, he has to get paid. And he rightfully should get paid because, the guy literally burnt his back for the company. So, and AEW, let's be honest, it would not exist unless Cody Rhodes did what he did and signed on the dotted line. So, I kind of think that Tony Khan is wrong in the situation. I can't be mad at Cody Rhodes. He's a new father. If Vince McMahon over the pond is going to give him $3 to $5 million to wrestle, then he's got to do what's best for his family, especially if the old boss is not cooperating.
Exactly what I think, Jared, and everyone listening, watching. Obviously, before Tony Khan really made his own presence on the show, on the program, on social media, he was more of a behind-the-scene figure. He was just the one signing the checks.
Yeah.
Almost like a Ted Turner to an Eric Bischoff situation where Cody really grabbed the reins. He ran with it. He built it up to he built a solid
I thought it was his company. I thought it was his company.
He treated it like it was his own company, and rightfully so. He did All Out. He proved Dave Meltzer wrong with the crowd and the attendance. Something that said that couldn't be done, he did accomplished. He set the pace, he set the bar, he set the revolution, as I said before.
Yeah,
and he would tell you any day and any time, I'm sure. For Tony Khan not to be able to have or afford a budget or want to give out the money that Cody, I'm sure, was asking for, is a slap in the face for everything that he's done. Like you said, just one of the minimal things that he's done is set himself on fire.
He set himself on fire.
Not to mention all the contributions and everything that he sacrificed.
And he put everybody over. People get compare Triple H, right? They compare Cody Rhodes and Triple H a lot. And Triple H has the golden burial, golden shovel, whatever. But Cody had matches with Sammy Guevara. He put over. He's had matches with MJF. He's put over. He didn't use his title to get a championships or be at the top of the card. He did everything he's supposed to do. So, show that man a little bit of respect. I feel like Tony Khan needs to do.
Like I said, it was a slap in the face, not to mention the money. But to take away his EVP, that's what bugs me the most. Hey, we're going to demote you within the company. You're not going to have a role backstage anymore.
Yeah.
You're not a main event guy, and we're not going to pay you like one, even though you deserve it. So, where do you stand? You have a family, like you said, to look after. You have to think about your own personal product, your brand that you've built up on your own.
Yeah.
After his first original absence from WWE programming, he took the time, he took the effort, he made himself, he's more physically bigger to look like a WWE superstar. So this makes perfect sense for him to move. I don't think he's in the wrong to do it.
Yeah.
Again, like you mentioned, all the things that Tony Khan couldn't do for Cody, Cody is now going to take it in his own hands and make sure that it happens with WWE.
And he's never been wrong betting on himself. And for those people who watch it, I want to ask you this question. Suppose that you're working at a company and you work so hard for that company, you do everything for that company, and now it's time to pay you, and you go into your boss's office, and they're like, hey, what we'll do is we'll take your title away, and we're not going to pay you the money that you feel like you should be paid. How would you feel about that? So I think that's what Cody Rhodes is going through, and the people who are calling him a traitor and everything, I think they kind of, from one of the reports I'm reading, I feel like they're kind of just jumping the gun on the actual facts of the matter.
I agree 100%. Again, if anyone's to blame the situation at first sight, on paper, it would be Tony Khan.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they were saying, the report was saying that it was Tony Khan's decision to let him go. So that's where
there's only other place to go, and it's the right place, I think, and it's time for Cody to go back home, and that is WWE.
And I'm looking forward to that booking. Hopefully they don't mess it up. But let's get back to the show. So it's the first post-Cody era AEW Dynamite, and they open it with a bang. They have the best thing to do is they can open it with CM Punk
in the pipe bomb position.
And the pipe, yeah. And he brings out the picture with MJF. And he's saying he's going to challenge MJF to a collar match, which is really cool. We don't really see them often. There's only been one else in AEW history.
Yes.
But yeah, they're just telling the story of MJF. He has a picture of him when he saw him as a kid. CM Punk met him as a kid. And he's just talking about, whatever you paid that day to be in my presence, you're going to pay a bigger price come Sunday, March 6th, AEW Revolution. So, what do you think about how this feud has been continuing so far?
So far, so great. You have two competitors that take this business very seriously.
Yeah.
Something I can contest and say that a lot of the AEW might not take it as serious as I like them to, but these are the two guys that you can rely on to get a good program out of. They're doing it right. They're slow burned it to a perfection almost. Nothing is perfect, but obviously they did the best that they could, and they did a damn well job getting to the point where we're at right now. Where now, they're bringing back a classic type of match. You heard the references to Rowdy Piper, versus Greg Valentine. You think of that match. Other than Brody Lee and Cody, that's the other dog collar match that comes to mind, and that's the one that meant the most. In terms of professional wrestling history.
I'm sure Bret Hart has had one too, but there's not one I can think of where he's I'm sure he's had a classic dog collar match somewhere.
Definitely.
But I do like that fact that they're bringing out a match that is steel cage, and you mentioned that I can have a steel cage, but I know Warlord can jump over it, or he can get into the cage. So, and steel cages are kind of overdone. We have steel cage all the time. We have elimination chambers now. So,
And Punk's good at them, he said.
Yeah.
He wants a challenge.
But a dog collar match is a little bit different. It's a little bit of creative of a stipulation where you have to really think and figure out how I'm gonna make this match interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. And then MJF comes out and he really just didn't have he was kind of looked dejected or something like that. He didn't really have a response for him.
It was a premature mic drop. He didn't have a response for Punk.
Yeah.
He knew that mentally in this particular segment or promo, he was beaten down verbally to the point where, he was left speechless. And that doesn't really happen to MJF too often, if at all.
Yeah.
So the fact that that's what we got to see, the results of this pipe bomb promo again, I think it was the right way to kick off AEW programming. I think it was a good bar to set. And, I can't wait for, the progression again of this feud because they've been doing it so good, so solid. And again, you expect that from two of at least one of your global main stars that you have on the roster and a guy that you want to be in that position no longer than, 6 months from now. So it was a perfect way to set up the show. It's a perfect way to continue on the feud. And I look forward to the dog collar match, even though I'm not the biggest guy on gimmicks. They've done this right.
Yeah, they did. I think they've definitely done it right. It makes me interested in a dog collar match, and typically I wouldn't be interested in something like that.
I wasn't really into the Brody Lee and Cody dog collar match at first until you watch the match itself, because you have two good guys that are going to work and not just put on a shit show. They're going to tell a story inside the ring as they built it up to the point where it should have been a solid climax ending, which it was. And I expect the same thing from Punk and MJF, if not a better situation. And it has me attracted prior to the match itself, so I know they're already doing a better job. Yeah,
I would agree. And then next segment on the show, we had Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. And this match, we watched it together. You kind of saying, like, why is this match so competitive?
Lee who?
Lee Moriarty. I've heard good things about him. I've heard that people, obviously he's working with Bryan Danielson, so somebody sees something in him. But yeah, you kind of commenting like, why is this match so competitive? Yes. And I don't think this was Moriarty's best match. I think he had a match with Punk as well. So, he's getting in good graces with somebody.
Somebody, yeah. He knows somebody or something like that. Someone sees something in him that, obviously we're not seeing yet. Or at least I'm not, because, again, like I said, I wrote down Lee Who. I haven't really seen much of the guy, if not, really heard of him. Why is this match so competitive when you have your multi-millionaire makers, giving him a really good competitive match, letting him come back the way that he did, and, putting up a fight. Obviously, someone's trying to make him look better than what he actually is right now. And, you fake it till you make it, baby, I guess, because, again, in my opinion, this should have been a squash, and they should have just got to the point with the whole Moxley situation, and, they kind of let this one drag out a little bit for me, but again, it was a competitive match. It was technical, which I enjoyed.
I feel like Moriarty, obviously he was gonna lose, but I feel like he needed a few spots there that really showed his potential. Like, okay, he lost, but this guy can go. But I didn't really get that vibe from him. I just looked at it like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
like,
if they're gonna build up someone like that, Jared, I think they have to do it with the smaller ranked guys before you get to the point where they have a match with a guy like Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, in my opinion, too. It's just a matter of fact of throwing in this greenhorn guy that no one's really familiar with against one of your top guys to try to get him over. I understand that by making it competitive, but I think you have to slow burn that, too. And instead of rushing into it and forcing it down our throats to make us think that this guy's on the same level or even close to a level as Daniel Bryan,
like I said,
is insulting.
Like, I think you have to book that type of match of like a Lee Moriarty that most people not gonna know, who he is unless like they're really like entrenched wrestling fans.
No.
I think you have to book it where he's kind of like, he's fighting from underneath,
from behind,
and they're just little glimpses of like, oh, that's cool, oh, this is cool, oh, that roll up was different, I didn't see that before, and you just didn't get that from him. It was just kind of like a competitive match with no type of, I've seen all these moves before, nothing of substance.
Nothing stood out.
Nothing stood out to me, yeah.
No, not at all. And I was excited for this match to end. Obviously, Bryan went over, and then we had the whole Moxley bit.
Moxley, yes. I thought this was a 5 out of 5 promo.
Yes.
Moxley's entrance. Segment. Moxley, you.
That vibe was cool. I haven't seen his new entrance.
Oh, really?
I have. Okay. That was my first time seeing it. I was like,
he's had that for a while,
what
man.
Is this? This guy's a star now. Like, And his music was just badass, in my opinion. I think that really set the pace and the tone for the whole promo itself. What do you think, Jared? Like, 5 out of 5.
What I really liked about this is it's an interesting perspective. It's an interesting motivation. Danielson is saying, I want Moxley to tag with me, and Moxley's like, I remember meeting you back in the day, and he goes through this whole entire story of like, all right, Danielson, do you wanna fight me because you're afraid of me, or do you want to fight me because you respect me? Or he has a line at the end, what was it? That I can't go to war with anybody who hasn't bled with me yet.
Yes.
So now he has to like fight him for him to become his teammate, and like we never seen that story before. Like I've never seen that story before in wrestling.
I've seen it on other programming, other brands. Where it was like, hey, you gotta prove yourself if you're worthy enough to be my partner for the Dusty Tag Team Classic not too long ago.
Oh, they did in NXT.
They did it in NXT with the women. Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade, which we watched last night. That was basically to see earn respect from Cora Jade to Raquel.
Oh, they jumped her in the game.
Tag, so
they jumped her in the game.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I think that was a really cool story.
They did it right. They did it right tonight. Last night they did not.
they did it right tonight. So it's not like you don't get the story of like, oh, just two ex-WWE guys again. You get like a layered story like, hey, this is way before WWE.
Yes.
I knew who you were back then. Back in the indie days, right? So I'm excited where the storyline goes. It could have had a chance to become stale, but I just think that the way they're angling the story, it becomes like way more refreshing.
Now, do you think they gimmick this match when the two decide to fight, or do they think they just have it a straight-up match? Because AEW is really notorious for setting up quick gimmick matches.
It's gonna be they're gonna have like a hard.
They don't really need to though with these two guys because they're so talented in ring already. And I don't know if it's gonna be a style clash, but I don't think so.
Now, Brian,
an amazing match.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be just like hard hitting, like violent, like the one he had with Suzuki,
right?
Over the summer.
Right.
It's gonna be just hard hits. It's gonna be hard knees. It's gonna be just hard suplexes.
Yeah.
And some color probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It has to be color.
Yeah.
Moxley said it. He wants blood.
Moxley doesn't know how to do anything else. But yeah, I really like this segment. What'd you think about it?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. For someone that hasn't watched the product in quite some time, I'm more of a Tuesday night guy, but tonight, obviously, I picked Wednesday over Tuesday anytime. If this was the same consistency that AEW had, definitely switching over. No, I could never abandon NXT, but
I'm not going anywhere.
Tonight was phenomenal with that promo. The two guys, said it exactly how it should have been presented, and they brought up the history part. They made it relevant. They made it make sense, and they built towards their potential match, and they left you hanging, wanting more. And as someone that hasn't watched the program in quite some time, Jared, I want to now see this a little bit more. And I'm not tuning in next Wednesday because they left it in such good position and hands, for themselves to take it to a whole new level when they do decide to fight.
Yes. Give me more Moxley. Give me more Bryan Danielson.
It's a unique matchup.
What's up, Gil? How you doing? Breaking the fourth wall here.
Bam.
Hey, before we get any further, make sure you guys like and subscribe to this channel. We put a lot of work into the Wrestling Never Sleeps universe to drop cool videos with other marks like ourselves. Man, this is our first live show together. This is crazy. We started this like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and here we are in the studio recording. It's really cool. So make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, so you know when we drop more fire. So moving on. Next up, we got Wardlow and Max Caster.
Yes.
It's a Wardlow match. You can expect a lot of. Well, actually, it was a little different this time. It wasn't the Powerbomb Symphony. It was a little. It showed a little like Wardlow can do a few things other than just powerbomb people.
It was a match that went on too long, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
I thought it gave Wardlow some range. Like, it's not a squash guy. He can just, he's got some character work and he can interact with people. And
it made Max Caster look better than what he actually is.
Yeah.
It made Max Caster look positioned higher than what he actually should be, in my opinion. But it's still, I don't like Max Caster. Because when I saw the Acclaim again, WTF, what the hell?
I love the Acclaim. I love the Acclaim.
I basically said they can go F themselves when I wrote down the notes and saying, this is just too much for me. Why is this match even going on past 3 minutes? It did eventually get the win for Wardlow. The right call, obviously, in my opinion. And, the big story for me wasn't necessarily the Wardlow versus Max Caster match. It was the after part of the match, and realizing what they have Sean Spears doing nowadays. What the heck? He's the chairman, La Parka?
He's just in the background. He's a lackey guy.
La Parka? The chairman?
Yeah. Yeah, he's just not everyone can be the main event. Sometimes you got to be the lackeys. You got to be the...
Sean Spears?
Yeah, I mean, where else would he go? What space do you have for him on the roster? He's not going to be TNT champion.
No.
So...
He's had his feud with Cody. He's done pretty much anything he can put that.
He's just going to be a guy, yeah.
He's just a manager now, but not even that.
Yeah, I mean, but at least he's getting TV time. I'll give him
He's
that.
still getting paid. I'll say that.
Yeah,
he's getting paid because I'd rather see him not be on TV than what I saw tonight.
Oh man, that's rough.
Well, what is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
La Parka? I'll say it all night long, but like.
So so Max Caster loses to Wardlow in no time. Next segment up, you got the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page, and he comes out. I don't even know what he was talking about. Did he even get a word out when he got to? I don't think he said anything.
Not really. No, he got interrupted right away by Adam.
He got interrupted right away, and then Adam Cole.
Adam too.
Bay comes out and. He's got some fighting words for Hangman. He said, "Hey, look, I respect you, and from the bottom of my heart, I love and respect you." And then he's like, "When we fight for that, just know it's gonna be good." They shake hands. Adam Cole's leaving the ring. He's got this little smirk on his face, and next thing you know, he got the undisputed. Oh, what do they call it? Paragon now?
Paragon, I think.
He got the undisputed Paragon people, and they attack Adam Page from behind, and then here comes Adam Cole. With the kicks and whatnot. So I think I'm gonna say about this feud. I think the problem with this is I've seen this man lose to Orange Cassidy, and it's kind of it's kind of killed it for me.
I was just gonna say, we've seen the diminution of his size. We've seen him not take the business serious since he's been in AEW, and we've seen him lose to validate that he doesn't take the business as serious as he used to in the other brand, when there's someone was there to remind him why he should take it serious. Unlike the brand that he's in right now, we've seen him lose to Pockets, Orange Cassidy, the puppy, whatever you want to call him, the mascot of AEW, whatever you want to call him, the merch, T-shirt guy, whatever, It can't validate Adam Cole challenging for the World Championship. And you can't validate this helping Adam Page by defending it against someone that lost to Orange Cassidy just a week ago or 2 weeks ago on AEW programming. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it doesn't work for me anymore. It doesn't work. And then I'm just not sold on Hangman. Hangman is I don't know. He just doesn't come off as the World Heavyweight Champion to me.
He doesn't have the vibe. He doesn't have the presence. He doesn't have the voice yet. He doesn't have the wins. He doesn't have a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot more other guys on that roster that I would say, hey, you know what? You could be an AEW World Champion and take us to a whole new level. You could be an AEW Champion and take us to a whole new level. Paige, you're just the guy that we had on the list to become the 4th champion at the beginning with the time that we started this company, and we're just going to follow through with that. Here you go.
Yeah, they really should have pivoted. We say this every week pretty much. They really should have pivoted from that plan.
And that's when you have a mark for our owner. So, that's when you have some guy that doesn't know what he's doing running the show like this.
Yeah.
Instead of having Cody make sense of all things like he's known for.
Yeah, that was a bad move by TK. Then not signing Cody Rhodes back. That was
I still can't get over it.
It reminds me, we were talking about this today, a couple years ago. Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is like, he's the man in Miami. He's a Miami Heat legend. And same thing. The Heat were trying to get Kevin Durant, and they were like, we don't want to pay Dwayne Wade. And Dwayne Wade's like, what? I got championships here. I'm like the man in the city. And there was a falling out. Dwayne Wade ended up going to the Chicago Bulls because that happened. So it really reminds me of that same exact situation. So. Losing Cody again is gonna be a big blow. I think a bigger blow than what people.
Cody and Brandy. We haven't even mentioned Brandy.
Oh God.
A lot of people don't like her, but I mean, like, she's a big part of Cody's character. I think, especially if he's not going heel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good luck with that. I don't see how he's not gonna not go heel.
She's automatically one. You know, no matter what, if you're associated with her, you automatically become one too, whether you want to be or not. But I don't want to get too far off topic because that has been heavily on my mind, as I'm sure it's been on everyone else's mind since we've been reading about it, listening about it. We didn't want to take it too much away from the show tonight at hand.
All I know is it's going to be a crazy WrestleMania this year. But that's a whole other show.
They didn't have a funeral tonight.
Yeah, right. So then we got the tag team match next. We got Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Santino? No.
Santana
and Ortiz. Santino Marella. Santana and Ortiz. And who won this match? Santana and Ortiz won this. Oh, this is the match that we got confused about. The ending.
Yes, the ending.
Yeah, I was confused at what the heck happened. Eddie Kingston gets on the ropes, and then Chris Jericho kicks him off the ropes.
Yeah, for no reason.
But no, there was a reason. Because he's on the top of the ropes.
Well, he was on the apron.
Yeah, he's on top of the apron. Yeah, apron, sorry.
Yeah, he was on the apron.
Yeah, so why would you not kick him off there?
Well, you know, he didn't cause any harm. He was just checking on his friend.
What was he doing up there? I would have kicked him too.
He was just trying to wake up his friend.
So that ended up being a distraction or something for Jericho?
I think technically it led to the finish, yeah. So Jericho cost himself the match. Essentially is what you're trying to say, because he took it out of his own, doing to knock Eddie off the apron when Eddie wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
He was just checking on his friend.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like
it either. It didn't really make a lot of sense. But
Jake Hager.
Didn't he look like he belonged in WWE?
Yeah, Jake Hager looked like he's ready to be Universal Champion.
Yeah, like he was in shape. I haven't seen him for a while. If I remember correctly, he just looked kind of bored and bland. Not really too fit or muscular, but tonight it was like, damn, he's training for an MMA fight, I think. Just coming out of camp. I don't know.
He's probably on Twitter and is like, WWE's paying how much?
Cody went where?
He in shape. No, but his guy, he looked great. He's at the different gear. He's in different body shape or whatever. He looked like an MMA fighter, a giant MMA fighter.
Performing like it too.
Yeah. So you think he? He's ready to maybe jump out of a role too. Like he looks like a completely different wrestler.
I wonder what his contract's up, because that'd be really interesting if you have Cody going over to WWE. We don't know that for sure, 100%, right? There's no official word on that.
Yeah.
But if Cody were to go, and again, I'm not trying to take away from the match or the show tonight, but it's a big topic.
Huge topic.
And Jake Hager, say he was at the end of his contract, and it was coming up soon, and he didn't resign. And WWE realized, hey, maybe we can do something with Hager now. He spent some time with Jericho, despite all the mumbo jumbo jokey stuff that he was doing with the internet search circle, whatever they're called. Maybe they see his physique tonight and they consistently see him perform like he did tonight in the ring prior to his contract running up or right before. Did they bring him over?
I think if it makes sense, he's a veteran. He's got experience. He's a good look.
Former world champion.
He's big. What can you put? Jake Hager versus Brock. Jake Hager versus Roman. Jake Hager versus Drew McIntyre.
If you look the way he did tonight.
Jake Hager versus Lashley.
Yes, 100%.
If and we've only seen a small segment of what he's doing. We know him as Jack Swagger for like forever, and he's not had the best
track record.
Yeah, not track record. Yeah. But we'll see. But I guess the best team won.
Yes, the right team won. I was even saying this before, and you're like, I don't know, maybe Jericho might go over. I believe in that. I was just like, you know what, they gotta go over because they took it upon themselves to separate from someone like Jericho, so they have to reestablish themselves in that tag team division that they've been held back in from the guy that they beat tonight. So
okay, so that's where the story's going, because I was thinking like maybe Jericho wins and then the story can go okay, but that makes sense. Now
that makes sense, right?
Path to
those world tag team titles. But they've been held back on, and I think that's the main reason why they separated from Jericho, because Jericho was going after the singles title. They really focus on the tag team titles, which is obviously their agenda as a tag team. And there's so many opportunities for them to face off with great teams again, get back on track. They could be heels if they want. Tonight, with the face paint, I haven't seen it with it on AEW programming yet, but it reminded me of the Grills of Destiny. Tama and Toa.
I have no idea.
And New Japan. They were Bullet Club guys,
I know you're talking about. I don't know their names.
Yeah, they were Bullet Club Bullet Club guys, they always feel left out when Bullet Club does something and they're not involved. But a really good tag team nonetheless. But my point was, I guess, that they were just mirroring them a little bit, in my opinion. It doesn't mean anything. It could have been just me overthinking it. But at the same time, if you're going to separate them from a guy like Jericho, you might not want to make them look like guys from New Japan who, no longer have jobs.
Yeah. Next up, we had Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez, and it was a grudge match. I'm not sure why there was a grudge though. I must have missed that.
I think it was a bit of a cluster.
Yeah.
Something that didn't make sense to me. It was a gimmick match because,
there's chairs involved.
A lot of AEW.
I like Thunder Rosa too. I like Thunder Rosa.
I do. After tonight, especially too. I think she was the one that was performing in the match, carrying it. Obviously, she's got a great look to her as well. She's a little bit more appealing to the audience now than she was before, in my opinion. And her in-ring abilities, it's up to par.
I think with the one issue with the women's division is I like Thunder Rosa, but I'm not really ready to see her take the title off of Britt Baker. I feel like there's just no depth in that division at all.
So who's the next heel after Britt? So if a face wins the title, who's the next heel after Britt?
Yeah, good question. I can't even. Who's on that roster? Who's on that women's roster?
Riho.
Well, you got Britt Baker. You have Jade Cargill, who's on an island on her own, and she should be.
Yes.
Ruby Soho. Tay Conti. I don't think she's ready at all.
Who's a heel but not ready? No, not even
Anna Jay. Who else?
That's one that they need to really push more, I think, in my opinion.
But push them where? No one can beat Britt Baker. And no one's gonna beat Jade Cargill.
They gotta build Anna Jay up, I think.
To beat who? That's what I'm saying. It's like there's no one
to at least rival. Make it believable that
I don't even see that.
Like, I mean.
I can't even.
She's not there yet.
They don't have that personnel.
Get her to that point.
Yeah.
Coach her, train her. Britt wasn't where she was at 2 years ago either.
That's true.
She had to learn. She had to get comfortable with being the person that she is now before she became that person and now owns it, obviously.
But sometimes it's just like people just find their gimmick and just run with it. Like
exactly.
Sometimes just
so Anna Jay
in a bottle, but
Anna Jay I think is the one to hopefully do that.
Gotcha. I mean, the closest person to me I think is Thunder Rosa. But I'm just not ready to see Britt Baker without the title. I feel like that she is that title.
She is that title.
Yeah.
They say the title sometimes makes the talent, but in this case, value has been built because of the talent with the title.
AEW is one Bailey away. That's all they need.
That's all they need?
One Bailey.
Oh, Bailey came. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Bailey's awesome. But we won't go into it.
But yeah, so who won this match? Thunder Rosa won, I believe, right? And then Thunder Rosa won. She picks up Mercedes Martinez.
They shake hands.
Got her shaking hands. And then she just bow to her, and then Britt Baker comes out and beats them both up.
With her two goons.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter and
Rebel?
Reba. So,
Rebel.
Yeah. And there we are. So I guess we'll have Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker at Revolution.
Yes, we definitely will. Sometime down the line, you're going to have to see Mercedes try to get revenge on the two goons that Britt hangs out with. And eventually maybe chase for Britt if Thunder Rosa can't get the job done.
I have a good question. I have a question for you. Do you think Britt without the title is buried?
No.
No?
No, I think she just takes the title to a whole new level. I think she stays at the same place even if she loses the title.
And
the title value drops down.
The title
value drops down because there's no one on her level in AEW right now to match that.
Yeah.
If you go to WWE, you can
Sasha,
match it.
Bailey,
you have all those names that are established.
Ronda, Alexa,
and we've seen them put on the great quality matches. What have we seen really Britt Baker do? She's really great on the mic. She's best friends with Tony Schiavone. She can have a gimmick match. That's really what we've seen. And she can be signed of
the characters would make it over.
Yeah, the character's there, right?
Yeah, the character's definitely there.
But in ring, what have we really seen her do? There's, she's the only one that can hold that title for now.
Yeah.
It's just no one else can compare.
Next up, we got the main event tonight. We have and we talked about this, Sammy Guevara, the TNT champion and interim champion. He has both the belts for some reason.
Double.
It's the same exact belt, but whatever. He's facing Darby Allin.
Babyface versus babyface.
Babyface versus babyface.
But the babyface with the belt comes in as a heel because he's wearing both belts.
Yeah, and they're the same belt.
That's a heel move, in my opinion.
I think it's just a dumb move. You got two of the same belt. It's like if you have like your ID and then you give you a temporary ID and you just have both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You show them everywhere. It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. At least Owen Hart, when he had the two Slammies, it was for two individual different awards.
It's two different awards. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
the same thing.
So, but good man. I mean, Darby Allin's so freaking explosive. It's ridiculous. Like he just like a little spark of energy. He just be hitting hard, and he doesn't look like that for his stature. What do you think about this match?
Great match, great pace. I think it was a hot crowd. It was a mixed crowd reaction, so guys are into both guys. So you can tell it was a baby face.
Yeah, even when they started, like, let's go Darby, let's go Sammy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Great match. Great,
I think it was a great match overall. There were a few spots in there that I think were unnecessary. You don't need to do that or give that stuff away or risk putting yourself in a position or your top talent or your upcoming talent in a position to hurt themselves. Free on national television. AEW does it week after week after week. And one week we're going to see someone get really hurt, I think. No matter how professional you are, this is not a soft sport.
It's not
this
ballet.
It's not ballet. It shouldn't be. Some matches are.
Ankle toes.
Depending. But not in the case with these two because they have put on a hell of a performance each and every time they go out there. Sammy Guevara was given the belt back for a reason. He beat the man that we were talking about earlier tonight, Cody Rhodes, for that title, so that established him. Darby Allin's been in there with Cody as well, put up a hell of a fight, won. He's been TNT champion before as well, so it's just a classic match for free TV, something that could have been saved, something that could have been built up a little bit more, in my opinion. Not everything has to slow burn, but I think they don't have to rush as much as they do. And
I think the character for Darby Allin, now we noticed that he's been losing a lot of high-profile matches. He lost to Samuel tonight. He lost to CM Punk. He lost to MJF.
Yes.
I feel like this guy has so much potential, and he has such a connection with the crowd, and his time's coming that like losses don't really need to hurt him at all. And it kind of ties in with the fact that he's a character like no matter how many times he gets knocked down, he's still gonna get up. So he can rack up a whole bunch of losses, but you can put him in a TNT title match at any point. That's like really unique about Darby Allin.
The only thing about that is if you do that too often with someone like that is that you insult the fans by having standards and a record.
Yeah.
So when his
it's not like it's not like a Bray Wyatt situation.
He can win 4 and then challenge. He can lose that title match and then win 4 and then challenge.
And then how he's losing and stuff. I think it just doesn't.
Interference tonight obviously played the case.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really confused though. I don't understand the relationship between Matt Hardy and Andrade.
Yeah.
That confused me, and I was left scratching my head at the end of the night. It was cool to see Andrade come out. I don't get why Matt Hardy, got involved. I guess I'll have to tune in next week to figure out more of that or read up on it.
I think for some reason Andrade is under the impression that Sting is Darby Allin's boss. So he's been trying to get Darby Allin to work for him. But it doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know the storyline, but that's
from someone like really taking a first look at this whole situation, it looks like Andrade wants to challenge for the TNT Championship now.
Yeah, now he wants to challenge for the TNT Championship.
Right, because he picked up the belts.
Yeah.
It's still a bit confusing though. Why did Matt Hardy have to come out? Why didn't Andrade just interfere and do something on his own?
I just want Matt Hardy to do tag team matches with his brother. I want
Matt Hardy to go away for a little bit, repackage himself, come back with Jeff when Jeff eventually, if he does come in, we get to see that reunite.
Without the music,
the Hardy Boys.
Can they still be the Hardy Boys? That's not like IP issue, right?
They can be the real Hardly Boys.
No, the real Hardly Boys,
as someone else might call them that. Overall, though, I think, like I said before, this episode of AEW had me more entertained than any WWE program that I watched earlier this week. So far, so great. The best show of the week.
Yeah,
a few spots where it had me head scratching, again, because of immature booking or not having the basic knowledge of how to properly tell a story. You can really tell the guys in the company or within the company that know how to properly tell a story because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about Punk, Bryan, Moxley, all those guys had a really good deal tonight. They really presented their case tonight, and they're really building towards March 6th with his Revolution, the pay-per-view, that, I'm now a little bit more excited about because of those segments that happened tonight. But then there again, there's a few other parts of the show that just had me questioning myself. It's like, okay, why is this happening? What good does this do for either talent? Where is this actually eventually going? But more importantly, the good outweighed the bad. So I have to give this the best show of the week so far, in my opinion.
What would you get it with it from 1 to 5?
I'm going to 5, and I have to get a 3.5.
I'm going to give this show a 4.5. In spite... What? Not a mark. So in spite of everything that's going around with this company, they just lost one of their major founders. And they started to show off with a bang with their best star they possibly can. You have CM Punk. You have Bryan Danielson's on the show. So you have some great storyline progression with him and Dean Ambrose. You have a great main event with Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. So this show is definitely at a 4 out of 5. That's what I'm going with. And I'm gonna definitely go with that. So thank you for watching this program.
You think you can come on my show Tuesday nights, interrupt me with a super kick? Well, I tell you what, baby, I'm here on Wednesdays. I was here to play along, but I'm just here to tell you what's right. NXT 2.0 next week on Tuesday. Wrestling Never Sleeps. AEW tonight. Baby, tune in to find out more.